Hello everybody, my name is ruubzy and today I have 100 plus Minecraft decorations for you guys to create in your own world. I've tried to include a lot of styles. Most of this is probably going to be medieval or fantasy style, but there are some modern stuff and some variations upon things as well, so I hope there's something for everyone. You've probably spotted the different colors here, and that's because I wanted to divide a couple of the decorations into different categories. This section over here is mostly interior design, and over there we got some exterior and natural bits. We got some water stuff over here, floors, walls and ceilings. And then in the back just a couple of miscellaneous stuff that I really couldn't fit in anywhere else. There are also some chapters in this video, they will be in the description below, as well as in the little video time bar. You can hover over it and see what you want to see. Maybe you're looking for something specific, that way you can easily search for what you need. Well then, let's start with the first interior category, which is mostly chairs, stools and sofas. The first two designs over here are from the bamboo. Since we are in 1.20, we have the bamboo trapdoor, and they match very well with the scaffolding. So it's just scaffolding with a trapdoor on top of it, flipped open to look like the backrest. And if you want a little cushion over here, you can just place a carpet and then move the trapdoor one back, so it's up against the carpet instead of up top of the scaffolding. Then we got three simple chair designs. The first one over here is just a stair with two signs on the side. Then I got the stair with the item frames and more stairs inside of those to look like little armrests. And the last one is with some trapdoors on the side and a door in the back, which can also be swapped out for two trapdoors, but I think this one works really nicely with the cherry wood, because the door is kind of symmetric, so the handle is in the middle, and because of the little holes, it kind of looks like one of those garden chairs. And next to the chairs we have a couple of stool designs. I came up with 6 for over right here, and I just want to show you guys that you can use a bunch of different bottoms and a bunch of different tops. Over here I use fences, walls, end rods, lightning rods, and even just an azalea bush over there. And for the tops I got different trapdoors, a carpet, a pressure plate. This is a moss carpet, and this right here is a daylight sensor, which you can't actually jump right on, but you can like parkour on it, of course. These ones could look cool for like a modern bar design. And this one over here might look a bit interesting to a couple of you guys, so I want to show you guys how to create this. These right here are actually armor stands, and I want to tell you guys right now that there are lots of different cool things you can do with armor stands. I won't really show any of those in this video, but this one I will show you how to do. So in this chest over here we got a couple of things that we'll need. Those are armor stands, snow layers, an oak fence, the block that is your floor, in this case grass, and a way to push these blocks into the floor. So you need to dig 2 down, and then place in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 snow layers. Then raise up those blocks for a little bit because you want to drop the item frames in. Not item frames, armor stands. And then in different angles, so standing like this in front of the block, which is 1, 2, so now they're twisted, 3, and like this, 4. I can actually use this to build up. Then we need a piston over here. Place a grass block on it and push it. And place an oak fence on there and push it again. And now it is in those item frames. I keep saying item frames. It's in those armor stands, and you can just place a little trapdoor on top of it. And now you have a cool design for a little bar stool. Let's move on to the next design over here, which is a chair that actually kind of works only when up against a wall. This is a bed that's going inside of the wall, which is why this is popping out a little bit. And we got 2 trapdoors on the side of it with a banner just behind there, so to cover up this part of the bed. Next to this one we got 2 different sofa designs. One is just 4 stairs twisted to look like this shape. And the other one is more of the same, but with a slab in the middle to make it a bit wider. Now we got something more of a modern look over here with just a bunch of smooth quartz blocks. We got slabs, stairs and full blocks in the back. These stairs are once again twisted a little bit to give some interesting shapes, with slabs to fill out the rest of them. I got 2 wither skeleton skulls in the back to they're like faced around, so this is the front. And now they look like small speakers or something like that, with just a little flower pot on the back of the couch. And this is a banner inside of the stair to look like a little cushion. And let me show you how to do this one as well. So you just need a smooth quartz stair or any stair that is your couch. Then the banner that you want your cushion to be. And the banner is placed one below. So you just place the stair like so, piston behind it, and then push it right inside of that banner. There we go. And the last giant chair that I have for you guys in this category is made out of acacia, but the main feature of this one is the minecart in the middle. So this way, if you click on it, you can actually sit in the chair. This one's just made out of a bunch of acacia stairs in the bottom. Got a couple of them in the side with a slab in front of the minecart. And then just some stripped acacia logs in the back with some slabs over here to smooth it out a little bit. And the way you do this is you just simply place in a rail with the minecart on top of it, then remove the rail and then just place something in front of it. Let's get the slab back. You want to kind of encase the minecart because otherwise it can just roll around a little bit and mess up your chair design. Let's move to the orange category, which is more interior design, but this time for like beds, tables and other stuff. When I made a short, I made something that looks similar like this bed design, but someone asked me to do a smaller one, so I got a single bed over here. With just a couple of signs on the sides over here, a little crafting table next to it for a little nightstand, and a bell for an alarm clock. This one's really simple, but I think it looks quite cute. Then moving on to the big boy over here, we got a double bed with stairs on the sides of it, slabs in the front, and then full blocks in the back, with some barrels in every corner, and from there fences going up too high, with the fence gates in the middle of those fences. Then on top, I got unlit campfire on top of the fence gates, some trapdoors on top of the fences themselves, and then just a couple of full blocks in the middle to look like this. And with this one I got some turtle eggs in the back over here and some candles, but I wanted to show you guys that turtle eggs can be a great thing to decorate your places with, because I think they just look cool and you can like imagine something that it could be, like maybe those are just little eau de parfum bottles, you know? And those maybe as well, I don't know. It could be deodorant, you never know what you need. Now we got a bit of a modern bed design over here. I just used the white beds over here because I think white is mainly the best color to use for modern builds. These are once again smooth quartz slabs and stairs going up to the wall. This is just grey concrete for the background. And then I got some white banners in here to kind of give a little divider. Then above it's just once again smooth quartz stairs and slabs. But I got a little aquarium in the back, and I did place in some fishies over here, but it seems like they vanished, which is okay. And I got just a coral block and a sea pickle over there, and I made the background out of light blue concrete to give just a little bit of color in here. And up above just a sea lantern and an iron trapdoor. Over here I have a small closet design which you can actually open and close like so. It's just 4 barrels with the 2 armor stands in the back. I filled them up with some armors. And then I placed 2 of the doors on the first barrels. So you can't actually place something over here, but I don't really think that matters. A couple of signs on these barrels over here to give just a little bit of decoration. And then encased it all in a couple of trapdoors with some stairs up above. And I got a couple of tables for you guys. This one is really easy, just a couple of upside down stairs for the corners. And then slabs everywhere surrounding it. So if you're like kind of small, you can look underneath the table like so. Next one is just full blocks in the corners with some trapdoors on top of it. And you can't actually really place something on these tables, but I think they could look great for like a little park. And then the one next to it is really simple once again. It's just a couple of full blocks in the bottom. This is a 2x4. I should not have done this, but I wanted to show you guys this design anyways. You can make a really nice looking cutting board by just having an item frame with an item inside of it, and then a specifically birch pressure plate like so, because the birch really matches the border of the item frame well. So like this, you can't really see the item frame anymore, and it just looks like a nice cutting board. And I also use little flower pots for cups over here. The next design is something like a file cabinet. I just used a bunch of beehives over here and then made it look like one is like pulled out to look at the files inside of it. And the way I did this is with a oak stair inside of there and a slab extending from it, and then just a couple of signs on top of those slabs. With in the front I placed an item frame. I can show you guys like so. First you place the item frame with the oak trapdoor inside of it, and then just a sign on the side like so. I think that looks really cool. You have like a little handle over here. And then to finish off this category over here, I got a couple of lamp designs. I wanted to show you guys that these are the new pots, the decorated pot in 1.20, which you can actually place stuff up top of it, and it can look really cool. So over here I got a lightning rod upside down on top of the pot, so it actually fills this part really nicely, with up top just a light emitting block. Then behind that I got just 2 end rods on top of each other, which is actually the part that emits the light, and then any block on top of it works. I like the quartz pillar because of the stripy pattern. Then I just got a flower pot with a cactus in it, and a frog light on top of that for also a little green lamp. This one makes use of a bamboo because it is nice and straight, and then we got a shroom light on top of that, but this one has a flower pot on top of the pot. And this is actually a lamp that lights up when it's night, because I placed a daylight sensor on it, switched it to night mode, so it's on right now because it's day, but when it turns night this one will come on, and I can show you guys real quick. So when it's nighttime this one will shine bright. And one other cool design you can do is mixing these two up. So just place one like so, with a stair inside of it, and then the lamp up top like so. You can even just do it like that, which looks maybe a little odd, but somehow kind of cute. Let's move on to the last interior designs category, starting off with a bookshelf. And the thing that I wanted to showcase right here is looms inside of the bookshelf, because they look like empty bookshelves. Just make sure to cover up the top and the front of the loom, because those have these kinds of patterns, which can be incorporated for some stuff, like the inside of a piano for example, but for a bookshelf you really don't want to see those sides. Next to that I got 2 keg designs. The first one is a really big one, which just makes use of full blocks of spruce planks, spruce stairs over here, and then stripped spruce logs to kind of look like stands. I just placed a couple of signs of it to kind of make it look old, with a tripwire hook over here. And I just placed a mangrove plank over here, and you can also use the crimson plank for the same effect, because I think when you especially have a wooden floor, this kind of looks like a wine stain that's stripped out from the keg. And then next to it I made a smaller design as well, which is just a scaffolding with a barrel with the tripwire hook once again, and then a couple of signs surrounding it. Then after that I kind of went full IKEA mode and made just an entire showroom, but I think it is looking really nice. I love my kitchens in this game, and there's a bunch of ideas and decorations that I can showcase this way. The first one is actually in the floor, which is a little carpet. This is a dead horn coral fan on top of a light grey wool, and it kind of looks like a fluffy rug. Then we have the sink over here, and this is just a cauldron with a banner in front of it, which I textured like so to look like a little towel. And then for a tap I have an item frame with a warped nylium in there, which may look really weird, but this is the only block that has blue on one side and red on the other, so I kind of wanted to make it look like cold and hot water. I know this one is really like testing your imagination, but I think it kind of works. And then just a tripwire hook placed over here to go in the middle of the block to be the actual tap itself. Now this is a fridge that I made in a short as well. You can press this button to get food, and the way this works is when you press the button it activates this block, but because down below there is a dispenser, it fires the dispenser and opens the door at the same time. And then you get food. I just placed in a bunch of different food sources in here, so you get a mix and match of different stuff when you click the button. Next to that, let's go up first. I placed 2 unlit campfires, which you absolutely do not need over here, but I think they look good with the weeping vines hanging from it, because they kind of look like peppers in my opinion, and I think that's nice. Then in my kitchens I also like to just place in a lot of different plants and stuff to look like maybe spices or herbs. We got a little mushroom over here, which can just be a mushroom, and then a little fern over here to maybe be some basil or something. I don't really know, but I think they look great in the kitchen. Then over here I placed a lectern with in front of that to kind of cover up the front section of the lectern. An item frame with once again a wooden trapdoor in there, and a sign in front of it to really cover it up. And in here maybe you can have a recipe book. This recipe apparently is for carrot cakes. But yeah, I think that looks really cool inside of a kitchen. This is something I've seen in real kitchens as well, so I think that's great. Then the oven itself, it's just a smoker and a furnace, but on the furnace I placed a glow item frame with a black stained pane glass in there to make it look like it's on. And then 2 of the detector rails on top of there to look like hot stoves. with above that a ventilation system, which is just 2 upside down stairs with walls on top of it, so the filthy air can just go right up there. And then next to that I just got a white candle to look like a little salt shaker. I wanted salt and pepper, but you can't really place different colored candles in one side over here. But I am white, so I think I just only need salt anyway. Moving on to the next room over here. This is a bathroom design. Over here we got a little sink, which is just an upside down stair with some sea pickles on top of it to look like maybe a little soap bottles. And a mirror over here, which is a light grey carpet. Or not a carpet, a light grey banner with a black border. Which you can, by the way, do in a loom, which is right over there. Which is how I made this one as well. I got a little shower over here, which is just glass panes going around it like so. And then an iron trapdoor in the bottom to look like the drainage. And in the top over here with a lever towards it to look like the shower itself. We got a toilet, which is really simple. Just a stair over here. But I got some toilet paper, which is a quartz pillar in an item frame like so. And a plunger, which is just a lightning rod. And finally a bathtub, which is just a couple of smooth quartz stairs in a little rectangle like so. And I once again place the turtle eggs for some decoration. And this time to make it look like there's some sort of shampoo bottle. And to finish this one off, I have a lot of different plants over here. Some of these might look a bit better than others, but every single one, in my opinion, works quite nicely. So all of these you can place inside of the bigger pot as well. For this one I made a 2 tall flower, which is something you can do for all of these as well. But just to showcase and not make everything like really big over here, I got a flowering azalea inside of the flower pot with 2 flowering azalea leaves on top of that to look like a nice plant. And then for all of these you can use plants, saplings, any other kind of plant thingy, flowers as well. Most of these work, especially when they are quite tall, like the allium over here or a cactus. But I'll just swiftly go to each and every one. This is just an azalea with a moss block on top of it to look really dense. And I got a dead bush with, I think this is a mangrove leaf on top of there. An acacia sapling with a jungle leaf. This is just an oak sapling with, I think, just oak leaves. Yep. This is a bamboo with a melon on top of it. We got a cactus with spruce leaves. A cherry wood sapling with cherry leaves, and this one actually emits particles, I think, every now and then. We got a mangrove propagule with a slime block on top of it to, I don't know, look like some aloe vera, or I guess. Then an allium with a amethyst block on top of there to look like a big purple plant. We got the torch flower with a block of raw gold on top of there to look like a yellowish plant, I guess. And then last but not least, we got the warped roots with the warped wart block, which is a mouthful for over here to look like something that belongs in the nether. So yeah, some of these designs a bit more odd than others, but I think everyone can work in the right setting. Let's move on to exterior designs. First one over here, a little parasol. But this one is a full block of oak planks with just some beds surrounding that one. And you can just easily place in the beds like so. Make them go around. I use blue ones. You can use any color, of course, for a nice parasol on the beach. And I got some beach chairs over here as well. One with the signs on the side of the chair and just a slab extruding from there. And I wanted to showcase this one because I could not place a sign over here because the fence is in the way. But sometimes you can place an item frame instead. So I made that decision over here, because it works nice as well. Then moving on, I got a trampoline, and in the back over here I tried to make one of those nets that you see sometimes on trampolines. Not really sure what I think about this part, but I think it works quite well, and at least it's a nice divider. And this one is made out of just wool blocks. This is blue wool on the sides over here, and I place slime blocks beneath some carpets over here, so that it actually works. When you drop down on it, you get bounced right up. So for like a modern house, you could definitely place something like this in the garden. Then I made a small bridge over here, but the main feature about this is when you place a wall, then 3 fence gates next to each other and attach them to another wall, they make this little shape, which I thought I could make a nice little bridge out of because I like those as railings. And let me just pause for a really quick second over here so you can see what I did. It's just upside down stairs like so, but twisted to get this shape over here. Full blocks in the middle and then the same on the other side. So if you want to recreate something like this, now you can. and then just a couple of oak in the middle. Then the next design over here is a scarecrow, and this is a fence with a hay bale on top of it, 2 fences extruding from that hay bale, and then 2 banners on the other sides of the hay bale. I made this to look like a little poncho, I think, and I just colored it once again with the loom. Then a carved pumpkin on top of that, and you can also use a jack-o'-lantern for it to shine in the dark. And then a slab on top of the pumpkin with some trapdoors from that slab to look like a little hat. It is quite big, as you can see. I am 6 foot, but it looks quite nice in a big field. Then some of my favorite things to place in any sort of medieval or fantasy world are cards. I got a small card over here, which is something I created a lot of in my survival world already, which is just 2 slabs over here with some trapdoors on either side over here to look like wheels, and a block on top of the slab over here to look like the thing you are pulling. A couple of signs surrounding this block to make it look fast and sturdy. And then I got a pressure plate over here, which is not really needed, but it adds just a little bit of detailing, with a fence gate open up over here to look like the handle, so you can really like pull it from this side. Then next to it, a bigger card design, which is just more slabs like so. This is, I think, 3 by 4. Then with some signs on these ones and trapdoors for the wheels on the others. A couple of signs in the back as well, and then surrounding the whole thing with a bunch of trapdoors like so. And I placed pumpkins in here with sea pickles on top of some of them to look like stems. And then for these ones I made fence gates going out like so, with a regular fence over here to make it look like it's stood right here. And both of these look great to just put like on the side of some sort of road in your fantasy town. Then I got 2 path designs to finish up this part of the category. The first one is out of mud bricks, packed mud, rooted dirt, coarse dirt, and then going into the grass on the side. And I tried to get the mud mostly in the middle, because I think most people walk in the middle of the path. Then from some of those I got some rooted dirt to kind of match the color of the packed mud a bit more. Going into the coarse dirt and then kind of smoothly going back into the grass. And that's something that is really important for these natural looking paths, to kind of make them go back into the environment. So instead of just having mud and then grass, smoothing it out like this can look really, really good in like some sort of forest setting. And then next to this one, this is mostly about the dead coral blocks. I got that bubble coral block and that brain coral block over here. And those mix really well with especially gravel, but also the other stone blocks. I got the cobblestone, regular stone, and andesite in here as well. And these blocks are maybe kind of difficult to get a hold of, but they look really well in a path like this. And just a little life hack over here, when you're walking on this, I don't really like the loud gravel sound, so in the middle is where most people walk. Once again, I didn't place any gravel, so it's just smooth sailing and just regular stampeding like that. And then on the sides I just placed a bunch of flowers, and then every 4th block I placed an azalea to give a nice little pattern like this. So this could be really nice walking up to a big mansion or something. On to the next couple of designs, which are more to do with wood and fruit, I think. First up here I got a some sort of factory machinery design or something like that. I got a bunch of the bamboo blocks with some signs over here to make them look like they're stuck together, ready to be packed. Then they get pushed onto this treadmill, and then they're going this way, around the corner this way, inside of this in quotation marks machine, where they get stripped, which is just I placed in one of these blocks over here and one of these stripped variants on this side, with a black banner in front of it to look like a little shutter, so you can't really see what's going on over there. Maybe it's dangerous to stick your hands in, that's just for protection. Then I go around the corner again, through this thing where there's a stone cutter, which makes it look like they're getting cut up in different shapes. And this of course can be transformed in any sort of different wood, or maybe some different blocks that you want. If this is something you could need in your factory, now you can, just a little machinery. Which is make-believe, of course, you have to create this all by yourself. But it looks cool. Really quick, my neighbor is absolutely hammering the wall, so if you can hear that, I'm sorry, but I will just continue, because if you can hear it, it's probably softly in the background. So if you hear some bonking, that's what it is. Over here I got a bunch of like make-believe barrels, which are just trapdoors flipped up to the coral blocks. And these are quite difficult to work with because you need water, so beneath every block I got water. And these blocks, I think in my opinion, are mostly overlooked. But I think they could look like fruit. Over here we got some blueberries, some grapes, some cranberries, or maybe these sweet berries that you can place in there. Lemons, and I'm not really sure what this can be. This is the brain coral block, but I wanted to include it anyways for some nice bit of color. Maybe you can know what it is, let me know in the comments below. Then I got a small vineyard, or just a berry field over here, and what I did on either side of like a row of berries, I placed a fence with a slab on top and a couple of trapdoors in the middle. And I kind of made it diagonal, because I think that looks nice. And this way it actually has a use in survival as well, because if you want to collect the berries, you don't walk into them so you don't take damage or damage your armor. I also just placed a little bit of coarse dirt in the middle to look like a little path. And pro tip, just place one of these next to it to look like a little vineyard. You get the berries over here. Maybe you want to make a little jam so you can just stomp on top of it and get all that going. Then more of an old school design over here. When you place rails over top of some laid down logs, it looks like they are fastened down to the ground. And what I did for these logs is I made sure that not every single one of them is the same length, because I think this looks way more natural and a bit better. Then for some of the ends I placed some buttons, for others I placed upside down stairs, or maybe regular stairs. Did I do that over here? No, upside down stairs to make it look like they're not really cut off correctly, or maybe they fell over and snapped off. And then I just placed a bunch of unlit campfires to look like smaller logs besides here as well. Maybe someone took a couple of branches and placed those over here as well for some firewood. Now we have more of a naturally fallen down, broken off log, which I placed in a little diagonal, so it's like 4 over here, 4 blocks over here. And I made some moss growing over top of it, so this is just dark oak logs placed down. And I got a dark oak stair and a slab over here to make it look like it snapped off instead of really nicely cut off. And then I just used moss blocks and moss carpets and to go right over it to make it look overgrown. And then some fences and buttons over here to really make it look like some bits of the wood have snapped off and are just fallen next to it. And with just a couple of like grass and ferns and even a flowering azalea bush, it really looks overgrown and it could look really nicely in just a really full forest. Then we have 2 different custom trees. Let's actually start with this one first, because this one is really easy and I can easily explain. It is just 5 fences in the middle. I made a short about this as well if you recognize it. And then just 2 leaves on top of those 5 fences that are in the middle. Then 4 leaves, skipping the first one in the bottom. So 4 leaves up to each and every side of it. And then in those middles go 2, 1, 2, 1. I hope that's easy to follow. I think it is, but if I just look at it in some different angles, I think you know what to build. Then I got a really big birch custom tree, which is actually, I think, one of the best trees that I've ever made. I'm not really that good at custom trees, but this one I really love the design of, so I'm proud of myself. This one is made out of birch logs as well as some andesite to get a bit of a different color and a bit of moss over here as well to make it look, once again, a bit overgrown. And then going up, I got some thicker branches and some thinner branches. Thicker ones, if you can look through the leaves over here, are made out of the andesite walls, which is why I used andesite in the trunk. And then the thinner ones are made out of birch fences. And then just a little tip, let me get some spruce fences over here real quick to showcase. If this is your branch, the one thing I do is I just cover up every single side of the branch, like so. Maybe it's connected into the tree over here. And then on the top as well as on the bottom. I think I placed it like over here. Yes, I did. And once you have this, maybe just expand it a little bit, like place some over here, maybe get this one fluffed out a little bit. Something like this could look already quite nice for a little branch. But custom trees are really difficult to do a tutorial on because they need to look organic and natural. So you kind of have to eyeball it, which is something I did over here, and that is why they are so difficult to explain. But if you do create your custom tree, you can one, mix and match leaves, as I did over here. These are just azalea and flowering azalea. I used only birch for this one, but I placed a couple of moss blocks over here, which is another tip. Don't be afraid to use non-leaves blocks as leaves, because with the moss blocks I can place grass on top of them and make them look more fluffy. And when I play Minecraft, let me just showcase really quick. I got the Better Leaves add-on by ruubzymc. which already makes the leaves look fluffy, which looks just a bit better in my opinion. This is what I use most of the time, but for this tutorial I wanted to showcase it without that, because I think most people don't play with that. And let me also just say that every single design over here also looks good without shader, so don't worry about that. And then inside of the tree, maybe you saw it when I showcased these branches over here, I also placed some moss blocks inside with berry bushes on top to look like little fruit. Maybe there's a little bit of apples inside of this tree, which can look really nice. And then a bonus detail over here with one branch over here extruding from the back, which looks a little odd, but I wanted to place it in here anyways. I got a little swing, which is just 2 chains over here, skip 1 block, 2 chains again, inside of an upside down stair over here, minecart in the middle with a trapdoor on the bottom and one in the back as well. This way I place in a sign over here on this trapdoor so that I can place one in front of it over here with a minecart, so you can actually sit in it and pretend you're swinging. Very nice. Okay, first half of the categories done. Let's move on to water design. Starting off with this pond that actually has a multiple of different designs in it. And I want to start with the ground itself. I used once again coarse dirt, rooted dirt and packed mud over here to really make the inside of the ponds look a bit better. Because what I see most times is when people make ponds, they either just don't really do anything with the ground itself, so the grass just grows inside of it, or they just place in sand, which can work, but I think this can also really elevate your build. Then inside of that I just placed a couple of the pointed dripstones to look like little rocks going up like so. And I also placed in this big stone over here out of the mossy cobblestone slabs, stairs and walls, as well as some moss just surrounding it. And with these rocks I made sure that some points are just above the water level, because I think that looks really nice. And over here I made some reeds, which are just green stained glass panes with either a brown candle or a flower pot on top of those, and those look like those little nature hot dogs. I'm really not sure what they're called, but I think they're quite cool. Then obviously just some lily pads can look really great, but also like this we can make some sort of water flower, which is just 4 lily pads surrounding a, in this case, cherry trapdoor with one of the coral fans on top of it. This is the bubble one for a nice purplish pink look. Once again, turtle eggs on the side to make it look like there's wildlife over here. And I placed string on top of these plants to stop them from growing. Otherwise, all of these will just be 3 blocks high, and those will be way too long. And a life hack with some plants, I don't think either of these work, but with some in 1.20, you can right click with a hoe or some shears to also stop them from growing. Then I got some sort of waterfall design, which is not the waterfall itself, because this looks really quite basic, but it is the glass over here. I tried to make like the effects of some mist, which is what you see in actual waterfalls. When the water splashes down on the floor, some water mist is going up again, which is why I used white and light blue stained glass to kind of create that look, which on this small scale doesn't really work really nicely, but if you are far away it can kind of work. Then next to that I got a small water wheel, which is just extruding from a wall that is besides the water. So for any building you have that's next to like a little river, you could place this in. Got 3 blocks extruding from the wall over here. These ones have some trapdoor on them to look more sturdy. And the middle one is a barrel, once again to look more sturdy. And over here is just a stripped spruce log with a button on the end, because I think that looks nice. Then from the barrel on each side I have placed in a spruce fence. Then on those fences some dark oak stairs with a dark oak full block in the middle of those stairs. And I chose dark oak instead of spruce for these ones because the water wheel goes into the water, which means that the block gets wet, and the dark oak, in my opinion, kind of looks like the wet version of the spruce. Then moving on, I got a roof design, which kind of looks like a tent now that I look at it once again. But this one is about the roof block. I use the 2 coral blocks here, and those are really overlooked because you need water. So the entirety of this thing is filled up with water to make sure that they don't die, which can also look really good with the gray variants. But like so you can have a vibrant blue roof, so if you're making like a new building, you don't really know what's the color you want, take a look at those coral blocks because they can look really good inside of some buildings. Moving on from that tip, I made a modern swimming pool. And in the swimming pool itself, this is something I see in a bunch of swimming pools in the Netherlands, which I don't think it's a Europe thing, but we got the darker blue going up to some lighter blues the further down you go. Then instead of having a flat surface, I made some slabs going down from the dark prismarine once again, and some sea lanterns for some lights. The rest of these are the quartz pillars for some nice stripy designs, which I really like. And then I made one of these things, which is a regular stair with an upside down stair against it, some string to hold up the black carpets over here, and then some iron bars on this side. And I don't know, this is one of those little jumpy planks that you can do flips off inside of the swimming pools. Not really sure what they're called, but they look great. And the last water design we have over here is a small fountain. We got inside of here, we got some mossy cobblestone in the bottom because they're all wet, so they need to be kind of dirty, I think. And this one is made out of granite and jungle trapdoors because those colors match really well in my opinion. And I got some mud in the middle, a full block right there, and 3 walls on top of those because you can waterlock them, and just a little flower pot on top of there. Now moving on to the floor designs, I just made a bunch of different floors, so let me just hover above them and kind of showcase what I did. For this one, I kind of wanted to make a diagonal gradient, so it goes from dark oak logs to stripped spruce, to packed mud, to stripped jungle, to stripped birch. So from dark to light to the middle. I think this could look really great, and you can just like kind of copy this design over and over again. And next to that, I got something that kind of looks like it could be in a nether castle. We got the gilded black stones on the side, with in the corners over here regular black stone. And then beneath some of these carpets I placed in a lighting block, maybe over here, no, maybe over there? Yes. So I just went from yellow to orange to red to make it look like some sort of fire gradient, and I can already see this as like some sort of carpet leading up to a big throne in a nether castle. And this one, truth be told, is a bit experimental. I'm not really sure if I like this design myself or not, but I wanted to show you guys that you can mix and match 2 different wood types. So you got the crimson and the mangrove over here, and then use the stripped logs as well as the planks themselves. And this one I made like some sort of little swirly pattern, which I think looks kind of good, but would maybe be a bit better with different wood types. Next to this one, I got a really rundown floor, which is made out of a lot of different spruce blocks. We got stairs, slabs, full blocks, and also buttons to make it look like the floor is kind of like caved in. Some bits are popping out. Everything is like really broken down. And I also placed in some moss in some of these blocks to make it look overgrown, with just a bit of grass to really like make it look extra overgrown. And a floor like this could fit really well in like a haunted or abandoned mansion. But it doesn't have to be a mansion, it could also just be a haunted or abandoned house, or tent, or anything abandoned or haunted or all. Next to this one, we've got some sort of starter stone floor, which the underside in the corners to kind of smoothen it out, and cobblestone in some sort of like diamond pattern, I think. Then some slabs going down from there, and then in the floor, furnaces. Because this one is actually some sort of useful. Maybe place this one inside of a cave, smelt up your iron, and be ready to go. For this one, I got really inspired by the Zora domain from The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. And I wanted to incorporate some water inside of that, make it look like really clean, really pristine, really nice. So I got these smooth quartz stairs in a little pattern over here, and then waterlogged them. Then I got just the blue and light blue glazed terracottas in a little pattern like so. And then this is a gray or light gray concrete powder, with in the middle a white shulker box. Now onto wall decorations. First of all, just a bunch of really simple lights. We have a fence, a wall, then a wall with a chain, and a fence with a lightning rod, with just some candles hanging from there. So just if you have a small open space on your wall, don't really know what to do, maybe just add in a little lantern like so. Then some window decorations. This one is for a very large window. This is 3 wide, 4 tall. And I made this window go 1 inside of the wall, so this is the front, but it's actually 1 block deeper to get a lot more depth. And for the wall itself, I placed trapdoors with a stair, more trapdoors and more stairs, to get a nice border over here with some full blocks of stripped spruce logs in the bottom. And then in front of that, a stair, slab, and trapdoor to kind of look like a little arch like so. 3 dark oak fences to add a bit of color in here going up, and then some slabs in a nice little A-frame. And I thought, why not place in a couple of flowers over here to give a bit of extra detail. I think this is actually one of my favorite designs out of all of these that I made today. And I made a smaller window over here, and this one is just in the actual block of the wall itself, because I think most people do this. I wanted to incorporate one of those as well. This is a 2x3, and I placed in some fence gates on top over here, with some unlit campfires, which is something I do a lot for my builds. Then I have some trapdoors next to it to look like little shutters. And just a little extruding bit over here for some decoration, and I placed a couple of candles over there. Then a really easy door over here, which is 1 block away in the wall. I just placed in 2 doors, then 4 trapdoors, and for the wall itself I used the stairs over here to make it look rounded. So this just looks like a really tall door. And why not use it where it's for? A bell for the bell. And another light design, which is in my opinion also really nice. It's a fence gate going into the wall, then a slab on top of it with a trapdoor over here, and then the light just hanging from there. So it's popping out a little bit, but I think it looks really nice. Maybe if you have a street with a bunch of houses on one side, you can add those in as little street lights. Then we have like some sort of pulley system over here. I put in 3 logs going out of the wall with a trapdoor on the side of it, a couple of fences above it to make it look a bit more sturdy, and then chains going into a stone grinder. Where is it? Stone grinder? No, a grindstone, almost. And then a chain going back into an anvil to make it look like it's holding up this platform over here. And for the platform I just used some slabs and placed in a couple of barrels and a chest over here to make it look like this is getting pulled up towards the building. And normally I would place this a bit higher up, because like this it maybe looks a bit weird, but if it's higher up it looks way better. And this one works especially well with like a big barn pulling up a bunch of hay bales. Then I got 2 interior design wall decorations over here. Over here just 2 easy paintings with light blocks behind it so that it lights up. They're both inside of the wall, so one deeper, and this one has an upside down stair above it. Below it just a little sign saying what painting it is, so maybe you could hang it inside of some sort of museum. And then for this one I just placed a flower pot in front of it and 2 buttons below and above the painting itself to make it look just a bit more special. And for the last wall design we have a really big circular bookshelf. So the way this is built, it's a slab over here which is on like the top half of a block, and 2 trapdoors, which this is the top of the block, this is the bottom of a block, and a regular stair, and a trapdoor over here again, and you can place one over at the other side as I did over here. And this is the only block that's quite difficult to mix match, because we don't really have a block that is just this side of the stair. So therefore I thought, why not just make 2 more smaller circles, because those are easier to make on both sides. So this is just 4 stairs, and this is a stair, double trapdoor, stair, double trapdoor all the way around. And then for the top, it's basically the same as the bottom, once again, to round off this circle. Then for this one, just regular bookshelves with the looms again for the empty ones. And the other ones I created out of the chiseled bookshelves, which is a block you can place in your own enchanted or regular books, which is how I got this little pattern of empty bookshelves in the middle. And then just on top for some extra decoration, a grindstone and an ant chest. Now moving on to some ceiling designs. Let me just stand underneath them and look up. By the way, I don't know what my neighbors are hanging inside of the wall. Maybe they have 10 million paintings or something like that. Because where I told you guys about the hammer bonking, which was right over there, that is like 30 minutes ago. They're not showing any signs of stopping, so I'm just going to continue. I'm really sorry about the bonking noises, because my neighbors are pieces of ceiling designs. So this one is just oak in the middle. Then I made, as you can see over here, maybe it's a bit more clear, a spruce slab over there with a trapdoor, then the regular oak block from the ceiling itself. In the middle, upside down oak stairs going around in a circle, and then an oak trapdoor in the middle over here with a glow block on top of it. I chose the regular glowstone because I think that matches well with the oak. And you can just continue this roof outwards like so, and then just copy over the design that I made over here into here and into there and into there to have nice ceiling lights. Over here, this is actually the bottom side of a smithing table, which I think looks really nice. Did the light just change? Not really sure. And then we have some deep slate brick slabs over here to kind of make a little border, and a hopper in the middle, because when you are placing the chains out of that, it looks really nicely connected. And then just a lantern hanging from there. And maybe you have a bit more of an A-frame roof, and then this is the ceiling. So the roof looks like this, and then I just placed a lock in the middle to make it look held up. And then for some extra sturdiness, I got the upside down spruce stairs with a spruce trapdoor in the middle. But I think for like a medieval or fantasy setting, this one is really quite good to place in your attic. Maybe you want a roof window. Well, you can do that really easily with placing upside down stairs surrounding the glass like so. And then the glass actually one above the ceiling with some signs on the side of it. So that way, when you look up, it has quite a interesting design. For more of a modern office, I just placed the smooth stones over here with sea lanterns for the big LED lights. And then I got a row of iron blocks in the middle for a little iron divider, which you can also just swap out for the blocks themselves, but I think this look nice if you can afford it. And the last one is for more of a pointy roof, but it's actually more for the chandelier that I placed in. But the ceiling itself has some upside down stairs in the corners and a slab then in the middle pieces. And then going up full blocks in the corners with a trapdoor going up. And in the ceiling, if you can see that over there, that is actually an upside down dispenser, which is placed up top. Because when you place chains going from there, it looks like it's going inside of the block like a little system that can move this thing up and down. And then the chandelier over here, it's just the chains going into a full block of glass. And then an encased light up block with the full blocks on every side of that. In the middle of these full blocks, glass panes. Then from this full block outwards, glass panes and one in the bottom. And then from every single glass pane, I placed in some end rods to make it really light up and look shiny. Now moving on to the last category over here, it's just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. I wanted to showcase that if you have a block that also has stairs in the same block, you can make some really interesting little windows. And those designs work really well in like a castle tower or castle wall. Because when you stand behind it, they can act like little arrow slits, because yes, you can actually shoot arrows through them if you are skilled enough. Through the smaller ones as well, and I think these look really great for just a bit of decoration inside your walls. Then over here, using a bunch of glass, we have some sort of fog effect. And the way I did this is I placed in some stones up above over here, with just cut out a little design. And then going down with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers of glass, with just a light up block below it. And 7 layers works best because that way you can't really see the light emitting source block in the bottom. So yeah, this gives the best fog effect. I think now you can see why I did a miscellaneous category, because where would I place this? Then I wanted to really quickly look at gradients, because they are great to work with when you're building something. Made one for bamboo and also one for just a stone going from dark to lighter. This one is made out of moss block of bamboo, then the same block of bamboo but sideways, then strip block of bamboo, bamboo mosaic and bamboo planks. And then the stone, they are made out of cracked polished blackstone bricks, cracked deep slate tiles, regular deep slate, cracked stone bricks, andesite and stone. And when you mix those two together, you can make a little tower like this. So this one is going from dark to light in the bottom of the tower. And just try to kind of mix some of them going up instead of having all just one layer blocks. Then I made just a little divider over here for the tower roof. And then this one is just made out of the moss bamboo and going up and getting lighter up top. The gradients are also something that is really difficult to explain, but if you get the hang of it, you can build stuff like this and make them look a little less one color. Now I got some lecterns over here that can look like a really nice railing, but if you walk up here, you can maybe place those onto like some sort of balcony and have just a nice ledge where you can look off of. Do keep in mind that the inside of the lectern looks like this, but if you have that on the inside of your building, you can't see it from the outside. And then the very last design over here, if you have a pointy roof and you wanted to make it really pointy, you can place in a block with some trapdoors surrounding it, a regular block, a wall, a fence, and then something smaller like a lightning rod, which connects really nicely up to a fence. This one is placed in upside down. And if you want to get crazy with it, you can place in a redstone torch on top of that for some sort of antenna. Maybe you're building like an airport and you need some sort of airport tower. Or if you want it more pointy, you can place in an iron bar. It's technically the same width as the lightning rod, but because of the texture itself, it can look more pointy. And those were already the 100 plus decorations I got for you in Minecraft today. If you make these in your own world, please let me know if you do in the comments below or in the Discord server. There's a link to the Discord server in the description below. I would love to see your creations. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to hit that like button as well. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe. I hope to see you in another video, maybe the one that is in the left corner of the screen right now. Thank you so much. Hope to see you then. Bye bye.